G'day, whingers or groovers. Oh, it's a lovely day today. And whatever you've got to do, it would be lovely to be doing it with you. I promise you, I won't sing again. Please tell me I brought some lip balm. Oh, I did, thank God. So it's the drive to work, drive therapy session. Pardon-moi. I have chosen a topic today. Aussies, the new whinging Poms. Not a very nice expression Australians use to describe people from England, but there seems to be a whole lot of whinging going on. So I thought, let's whinge about whingers. I do. I remembered my lip balm. I just wasn't sure if I had it in my basket. I've got a little basket that I just chuck things that I know I'm going to need. Because like, when you live out of town, you kind of pack a basket of things. Okay. Ruth's put the challenge out there. She reckons Poms still outdo the Aussies when it comes to whinging. I do a whole comedy routine about the only thing that, I do a comedy routine about whingers, and at the end of it, after a lot of whinging, I'm like, and the fucking whingers are making me a whinger. I'm whinging about them. You live in the woods. Yeah, so when you head to like the big smoke, or more than half an hour away from home, I have to have like a basket of contingencies. I'm always chucking, like, making sure I've got a couple of pens and my little emergency medical kit with eye drops and lip balm, all that sort of stuff. And you take a little cardigan or a coat or whatever. It's not a very nice day today, guys. It's not really summer. I could whinge the whole way into town about how today is not like summer. But don't get me wrong, I love on days like today because I think, well, if there was ever a better day to be indoors, or just a day to be indoors. Yeah, huge handbag. When I lived in Sydney, I used to take a backpack with me every day that had like overnight gear. Not because I was a raving slapper and, there was a chance I was going to wake up in some random dude's bed, but a lot of my friends, like we didn't really all live in the same areas, and it was just such a pain to get home at midnight or 1 o'clock or whatever. So, it was not uncommon to do a lot of couch hopping, but you'd sort of have your overnight backpack with you. I mean, at the end of the day, if I forget anything and I really can't survive without it for the day that I'm in town, it's not like I can't just go and buy whatever it is. But I was trying to think of a topic for us to discuss on this road trip and drive therapy, and I don't really like mainstream media, but I was just reading about how Matt Damon, the American actor, is in Australia now with his family in quarantine because he's in the next Thor movie with Chris Hemsworth. They're very good buddies. And a whole lot of people are carrying on like pork chops about it, saying, oh, all these families, Australian families, still waiting to be repatriated, and, the government won't fly them home, but, if it's a Hollywood superstar, yeah, just let him in. Matt Damon funded the entire fucking thing. Oh, yeah, those motorbike things, yeah, they are good. 11 degrees Celsius. It's only going to be 16 here. It's currently 12, which, let's be honest, it's meant to be summer. But I don't mind. People complain about Tassie weather, but I love that we have unpredictable weather. Like, I'm wearing my knee-high winter boots and leggings and a winter tunic. I'm not wearing the usual hold a neck jumper under it. But let's whinge about cyclists who don't use the cycle lanes. Oh, fuck, negative, sorry. Good morning, Casper. How are you? I'm not very good at reading chat when I'm driving, so if I miss stuff, yeah, just yell at me in capitals and repeat it. But yeah, so all these people are whinging and saying, there's all these Aussie families that haven't been repatriated and why isn't the government helping them, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, minor detail, he fucking funded the whole thing himself and he's in quarantine with his family now and get the fuck over it. I don't have any, this is Tory at her meanest. I don't have any sympathy for anyone who left Australia after March the, 12th, 13th, or was it the 15th? Can't remember now. When WHO declared COVID-19 a global pandemic. I'm sorry, but if you jumped on a fucking plane after that, well, not a smart move. I've got friends who ended up being stuck in Indonesia and they couldn't get home, they couldn't get on any flights. They're currently halfway through quarantine, like they're now back in Australia nearly a year later. And, they turned it into an adventure and were resourceful and found jobs and, we're like, oh, well, we're here now. They had working visas were granted immediately so they could pay for their accommodation, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm off to work, Casper. But we're whinging this morning. This is a competition between Australia and Ruth Walton. It's Australia versus Ruth. She thinks Poms will out-whinge Australians till the end of time, essentially. But I'm just wondering if Australians are the new whinging Poms. And not this isn't something that just happened overnight, but I know the Matt Damon story is a pretty pathetic example, but the point is, okay, here's another one. And like I said at the start, my disclaimer, whingers make me whinge about whingers and whinging. I keep thinking of Tim Minchin in his Lullaby song. There's a line, there are children in Africa starving to death, but you don't hear them whinging. Yes. So in Tassie last week, I think, or was it the week before, whenever the dead seabird on the side of the road, some little roadkill person will be like, oh, yes, roast seabird, bring it on. Starting with the weather, which has always been the weirdest thing because you can't fucking change it, right? So, blimey, weather's shit right now. Can't fucking do this, can't fucking do that. It's like, well, you can't fucking change it either, so go with the flow. Put on a raincoat and a pair of gumboots and just get on with it, Hop on your bikini and lie in the sun, whatever it is. But then here's me also, I just said before, it's not really a sunny day, but yeah, I don't mind days like this. Like the Tassie's a bit PMT when it comes to weather. She's a bit all over the place. I like variety. Especially like if you're going to work on a day like today, I'm not like, gee, I wish I could be home walking on the beach in that bloody howling gale. That'd be fun. I'm like, oh, I'll go to work, catching up with my sister after work, and then I'll go home and go to the gym. See, this is a good gym day. But my gym are like, why aren't you coming in 5 days a week at the moment? It's like, because the sun is fucking out, it's summer, and I'm in the ocean. Can't be busted. I can't stand being in a gym looking out the window at a sunny day. It's like, got to say though, how pretty is that sky? Doesn't look too grim, does it? Oh God, really? You've got to get that particular down to the quality of mud? Jesus. No, we don't do that. But yeah, with the little UK strain being discovered in Brisbane and they shut the city down for 3 days. I think they're now out, I'm not sure, but they went into lockdown. So this is how Australia handles COVID. There's one bloody case of the UK strain and they're like, right, lockdown. And I think it's smart. That's why we haven't got the plague. It's not why we're not dealing with the plague. But anyway, so now it's mandated in all Australian states, I think, or at least in Tassie. I think it's everywhere now that you have to wear a mask at the airport. Now, this is even in Tassie where we don't have any cases. And I was watching the Premier do the announcement and I was kind of surprised it took us that long. But, you know, when there's no cases, it's not that we're blasé, but it's kind of like, well, you know, it didn't need to be compulsory, but it is now, which makes sense. But all these Tasmanians were in the Premier's media conference that was live on Facebook. Where do I buy masks? Are the government giving us all masks? Where's the pickup point for free masks? Oh, Casper, don't you worry. All the other premiers hate, I don't know if hate's the right word, but they gave our premier mountains of shit as well. And he pretty much told them to fuck off. So did the Western Australian premier. And you've got Gladys Berejiklian who had everybody off the Ruby Princess, which is how COVID went bunter in Australia, having a crack at our premier, and also Scott Morrison having a crack at our premier, but not opening. Scott Morrison threatening to take Tasmania to court. My premier, but our premier's like, fuck you, fuck off. And the Western Australian premier was like, yeah, right, Gladys. We're going to take your advice when you let everyone off the Ruby Princess, you fucking fucker. Same with our premier, Casper. It's been good. And, you know, a few of my friends down here who are from Queensland originally have been able to go. One of my friends, I mean, he's been living here for 8 years now, but he was able to go home and see his dad, who's incredibly unwell. And then I've got another friend who's just managed to go home to Queensland. And, you know, the states that have been reasonable and maybe, you know, bordering on the conservative side. But I think when it comes to a global pandemic, you kind of want governments leading in the conservative direction because it's paid off. But, you know, there's these sort of direct flights and stuff going on. Same with South Australia, but, yeah, Victoria, New South Wales. But, yes, all these Tasmanians were whinging about masks. I'm not whinging so much, but I don't have one. You didn't get that. It's like, well, hey, are you flying or going to be in an airport anytime soon? Because they're not mandated anywhere else. No, but you didn't get a mask. Well, they've been around for a fucking while now, and yeah, initially panic merchants went and bought out all the masks from pharmacies and stuff, but you've been able to buy like fabric masks with filters and the high-end ones, and I mean, you can buy a gas mask if you want to, and they're all over the place, and in so many shops, because Tassie became COVID free, so many shops are selling, you know, packets of 10 for 50 cents. Yeah, I really wish Boris had as well, Ruth. He fucked things up big time. But then so did Trump in America. I cannot believe how many YouTubers, American YouTubers, are just business as usual. I mean, does it get to a point when it's so full on that people are just like, I might as well fucking get it and get it over and done with? Is that the attitude? It's so fucking bizarre because people are not taking what they're referring to as long COVID seriously, which people really should start studying it and reading about it. It's essentially people who've survived it, especially younger people, are now essentially living in very old bodies, like their lungs and internal organs, all these problems that they're having. I get it about the pretty masks for sure, but my point was, Casper, was more that all these, not, I mean, there weren't hundreds of them, but, you know, a few Tasmanians in this presser all demanding that the government give them masks. I didn't actually finish my point. Not your fault, I just hadn't finished. So, yeah, it's that expectation or that sense of entitlement, and it's like, unless you need to be in an airport in the next 24 hours, you don't need a mask. But I ordered masks online last year. I mean, we ended up, because Tassie was COVID free, you'd get a message saying, and it was when Victoria was in lockdown, and they're like, you know, we're servicing the states that need the masks more, but you'll get them eventually. But pretty much everyone I know was like, well, probably worth getting some because COVID will come back and it might take off the next time around, and, you know, we might need masks. And so I'm like, if the scouts didn't teach us anything but one thing, it was be prepared, right? But it's more just within the context of my whinging Aussies topic. Why the fuck, in a country where we have free healthcare, unemployment benefits, government-funded housing, assistance for study, why do working Australians, think the government should hand every fucking thing to them on a silver platter? Go out, spend $1, buy a mask. I agree, Ruth. And look, a lot of people that are in places that are in lockdown and so on say that they know that the masks are even, I mean, there's some super efficient ones if you're prepared to fork out a lot of money. But at the end of the day, you know, the standard masks with filters that most people are wearing are really only minimising you spreading it if you've got it. But a lot of the people in lockdown are like, buy a mask just so you don't get fined for not wearing a fucking mask. Like, even if you do buy a decorative $2 useless mask, better than getting a $3,000 fine. Bit of roadworks. But it's more that, you know, our government is very generous and workers lose a lot of money, a lot of their income in taxes to fund all generosity. But at the end of the day, it's created generations of people just thinking that the government should always be paying for everything and rescuing them. Like back in the year of the Boxing Day tsunami, there were some countries who were very quick to repatriate their citizens out of Thailand, and, you know, there'd be stories on the news with these Australians who travelled there and hadn't taken out travel insurance, screaming at the government about, you know, you should be bringing us home. And in the background footage, there were literally people from other countries who were in the same predicament, helping retrieve bodies and looking for survivors. And there's all these fucking Australians. No, bring us home, government, you're disgusting. No, take out travel insurance when you travel overseas. If you can't afford to go to Bali and not take out travel insurance, don't go to Bali. Travel insurance is dirt fucking cheap, really. Um, there's just this culture of entitlement that flips my tit. Now, Serenity Bay is probably not here, but I was talking about green smoothies yesterday, and I'm actually drinking the other half, the one I made yesterday, and I couldn't remember all the ingredients when I was going through it with her. So she made it yesterday with what I told her. It probably wasn't as nice as mine because I forgot to tell her to put some cucumber, cucumber and mint. So it's ice, water, parsley, mint, 2 handfuls of parsley, 1 handful of mint, half a cucumber or just one Lebanese cucumber, half a lime peeled, chop it up a little bit, 10 cashews, whiz the fuck out of it and enjoy. And that's what I'm sipping on as I drive. I've got the cutest little smoothie, like keep cups for coffee. I've got a smoothie one with its own little straw. I love it. It's glass, so it keeps it cold, and then it's got a rubber thing. It's inside like a rubber, like a beer, like a stubby holder, but not. But you know what I mean? So your hand doesn't freeze. And then it's got a bamboo lid and a little straw coming up through. It's gorgeous. Are you talking about going to the pokies? I can't remember. I'm slowing down. Look, I can have a really quick look at chat. See, I'm avoiding going anywhere where there's people in large groups or crowds because even though we don't even have any cases here, I thoroughly enjoyed self-isolating last year and not having to be around shitloads of people. And I'm finding now that I have no desire to. Like my sister went to a Tex Perkins concert a couple of weekends ago, and she said the social distancing and everything was really good. Like people were really, really good, and they had limited numbers so that everyone could social distance. But I said to her, I just don't even want to be around that many people. I know that West Point Casino here is so strict. And one of my friends works there, and she's been getting abused by tourists. We've got so many tourists here at the moment. I'm like, why? Why are you here? Like, I get people coming home who haven't seen their families for a year, or someone who's had a grandchild born wanting to see them, or people getting back here for work. They're meant to be here for work and they've been working remotely. But it's just like, as soon as our borders open, it's like all these people are like, woohoo, let's go on holiday. And I'm still happy to just take this year pretty much day by day, see what happens. My brother and sister-in-law and niece are very excited about me going over and visiting them in Singapore. And I'm like, yeah, I'll just see how this year goes. I'm not in any rush. If I had to go somewhere for work, and I may need to travel for work this year, they're going to be monitoring it like crazy. They're not going to be getting their staff hopping on planes and stuff if things are shit. But and I don't know, maybe it's when you come out of lockdown. But I mean, yeah, Melbourne had a pretty bad time of it they're friends of mine and the subs of mine who live there, but it's nothing like Ruth in the UK. It certainly wasn't as long. And what were you saying the other day, Ruth? You haven't left your house since March last year. That's full on, right? Melbourne was in lockdown for what, 3 months? 2? I can't remember, but it wasn't like a year. And as soon as all the borders open, there's a fucking shitload of them here. And they're abusing the staff at places like West Point for how strict they're being and saying, oh, it's not this strict in Melbourne and we were in lockdown. It's like, well, that's why you were in lockdown and we haven't been, buggers. Look at me, whinging. I have faith there are good people out there, Casper. I think I know that I'm way too trusting and I give people the benefit of the doubt and I trust people until they give me a reason not to, which is not a great life philosophy, but it's just my personality. I'm a bit thick in that regard because it's been me on the bum. But one thing that came about with us all sort of self-isolating, spending time alone, just with family and friends, whoever was in our homes, and just focusing on what really matters. A big part of that reflective process was also reflecting on your circle of people outside of that immediate family. And it's not that I've actively shed people and gone, I don't want anything to do with you anymore, but it made me reflect on my circle and who genuinely loves me and I love back, and it's a two-way street. It's not a take and no giving kind of scenario, because I fucking had a lot of people like that in my life who just took. And then when I experienced burnout and was really unwell and also dealing with very debilitating anxiety, a lot of those people just fell away. It's like, oh, right, so fair weather friends, now that I'm actually, not that I was being a pain in the ass and saying, oh, I'm sick, I want attention. I wasn't, but so many people just didn't check in and say, hey, where have you been? What's going on? Are you okay? It was unbelievable. So I was like, well, they aren't in my circle. So I recommend people draw a circle on a piece of paper, a big one, and then on a second piece of paper, draw a small circle, like the big one, like a basketball-sized circle, and it sounds very small, but the other one, like the base of a mug, or, depending. I mean, if you've got crazy big handwriting, make it a bit bigger. And then just start writing names of people that are in your life, everyone, like friends, family, work colleagues, people that you've known since you're at school, like just anyone you can think of. Go through your phone even and just start, when you scroll through, if there are people in there and you're like, I don't even remember who the fuck you are, just delete the contact, get them out of your phone. But yeah, go through your phone, pop them in, think about people on Facebook, whatever, and then start looking at each name individually and reflect on how you feel about them, what they're like as people in your life. Are they there for you? Is it a two-way street? Are they people that you just can't imagine life without? And you put those names in the smaller circle on the other piece of paper. And if you, at the end of that exercise, if you've got a dozen people in the smaller circle, you're doing really well. And you don't need more than that. Or, if you've got a fucking gigantic family, you might need a bigger circle. But you know what I mean? Like, or just do it for friends. because your family's going to be there, whatever. And there's probably family members that are, you know, like the creepy uncle that grabs you on the bum at parties and stuff. But if you just even do your friends, and you realise that so many of those fuckers in that big circle are just sapping your energy. It's not a two-way street. They always need you. But they don't ever just want to be around you. And yeah, just, and it can include your online fuckers as well, the ones that you sort of have engaged with outside of online. I mean, one of my oldest and closest friends, in terms of our relationship and supporting each other and all the rest of it, we met online nearly 15 years ago. We still haven't been in the same room as each other, but he is an incredibly important person in my life. Hey, Francesca. We're whinging about whingers. And Ruth's put the challenge out. She doesn't think Australians will ever be bigger whingers than Whinging Poms, which is, you know, Ruth, that's why I love you. Have you noticed that people in Commonwealth countries are really good at taking the piss out of themselves and each other? Like Canadians are so self-deprecating compared to Americans. Look at New Zealanders, and Australians, and Poms, and Irish, Scottish, like Welsh. I think it's an interesting thing. Is it because, well, outside of the UK, like, are we all from convict stock and we just brought your senses of humour with us? Because I've got so many great English friends who are just fucking hilarious. Some of my favourite comedians, English. I'll be stopping and going through chat because, as always, I'm in town way before I need to start work. I just like to get in and go and grab a coffee, take my time. You grew up in Africa. Tell that doodle cock of yours to take off his big girl panties. Panties. His granny bloomers, his granny pants. Or was it big girl's blouse, whatever it is. And do what he's meant to be doing. Hey, freeloading doodle cock, it's time to do some work, mate. You're not there just to look good. I'll I'll find a little spot down at the docks to sit and catch up on chat. It's good to see, isn't it interesting? I think sometimes we think people that are whinging are venting. Like if you just all the time about anything, that's whinging. But if there's something that's bugging you and you need to offload and vent, that's a good thing because then you're not owning that shit anymore. It's not your responsibility anymore. So I'm all for that. I'm all for venting. But I just find the people that are always, there's a few people on YouTube that, I'm not naming any names, that I've observed from the start that just seem to always be prickly and will always argue the other side or call out people and criticise them. And it's just like tribe. I'm still trying to find a new scammer for this year as well. Bit of scam baiting action, be fun. You need a couch, Casper? Well, consider this a couch. I mean, I'm reading a book at the moment because I'm a highly sensitive person, and I didn't know that's what I was, but that's what I am. I didn't even know there was an actual label for HSPs. Um, Look at me, I'm doing 25 and a 30 zone. 24. Look at me, get a gold star. Um, but yeah, since everything has to have a fucking label these days, so I'm an HSP, highly sensitive person, and I'm actually getting a lot out of it because it's not saying that highly sensitive people are snowflakes and pathetic or anything like that, but it does give a bit of it does sort of explain our personality type, and obviously HSPs are incredibly important because they're capable of much more empathy than other people. So, you know, HSPs do actually bring a lot to the world, to the planet. Might just park here at Constitution Dock. I was going to park over there, but it's a permit zone. We'll just park here and you can have a look at the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery, that sandstone building. No, actually, it's the Blue Mako building. So that's our museum. No, it's not really. But look at, I love the museum, that lovely sandstone building. But yeah, I'm really liking it, Francesca, and yeah, I'd look at getting it for sure. And same for you, Casper, because it sort of explains how, you know, our personality type is really important for the planet because it's important to have people that are empathetic, but also we're, you know, often criticized by other people for being too sensitive, and it actually impacts on us. But I'm grateful for it. I know that I sensed a friend of mine was not doing very well. They've had a death in their family of a young family member. You know, and I checked in on her, and she was incredibly grateful that I'd even sensed that she wasn't doing okay, and she was trying to present as being okay on social media and all the rest of it, but I just knew something wasn't quite right. And she really appreciated that, you know, and I think that that's where we are so important for our friends and family because we are very aware and conscious, and we do feel. Um, oh, I didn't see the boob shaker. That was for you, Casper. Boob shaker. Oh, the grid. When I went over the bridge, I thought a girl just walked in front and you were referring to her boobs shaking. It is a boob shaker. But that grid's fun because it means the bridge can go up and down. Yeah, it's actually called the highly sensitive person. It's Elaine somebody, I think. But it's really good to just be validated and to be. I'm reading two books at the moment. I'm actually reading three, but another book that I'm reading is about burnout, and they recommended it. It was one of the recommendations when they were talking about different personality types in the workplace and so on. But you know, it's a nice it's got some exercises in it, and it's just nice to know that, yeah, when all my life I've had people say, why are you so sensitive? And being sensitive doesn't mean, as you guys would know, that we burst into tears all the time. You know, we're just tuned into emotions a lot more, and we've got much more complex emotions. A lot of people are very black and white in their emotions. They're like happy, sad, tired, energetic. Well, not that tired and energetic, but you know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of variety. Whereas a highly sensitive person can be experiencing several emotions all at the same time. And and in some instances it's great. Like I love that, it sounds weird, but I love that when um I've had people die in my family. My family is very much into black humour, and I love, or dark humour. Sorry, it's probably politically incorrect to say black humour, but dark humour. I love that, there's a lot of laughter through tears going on. It's not just everyone falling apart, and it's often that highly sensitive person that's got that sense of humour as well, that can see ways to make people smile and laugh even at their saddest moments. But it's worth reading. It's nice to feel validated and to not have a book going, "You're a highly sensitive person. Wake up. Stop being so sensitive. Toughen up," which is often what you get told throughout your life by highly insensitive people. No, that stiff upper lip, and yeah, very British. I mean, Australia really fucked up in some respects with, not seizing the opportunity as a young country to go, okay, we want elements of what happens in Britain, but let's shed some of it. So, like the way we work 9 to 5 is ridiculous, because parts of Australia in summer are so fucking hot that people should be having siesta. We should be like doing more like South America, um, hours with work. The way we look at death, we had the opportunity to be, let's actually see this as a way of celebrating lives, a bit like South America again. Like there's so many things that we could have chosen to have adopted that sort of suit the climate and everything more here, but we chose not to. Even down to like men wearing suits and ties to work. It's so weird in Australia in the middle of a really stinky hot summer, seeing all these men walking around in suits and ties. It's like, gee, could you come up with a more inappropriate outfit to go to work in? If anyone ever buys a satchel, I love my computer satchels, but make sure when you buy one, I've got a crumpler one at home. I didn't bring that one, I brought a different one, but it's got a little pocket on the back that's sort of near where it's the back resting on your body, that fits your phone and your wallet, and it's so perfect. You don't have to like rummage through your whole backpack and open it up to find things. There's a tip for the day. Kind of random, but that's the traces of Nuts way. Once people realise you're sensitive online, the trolls rip you apart. No, it's not, Casper, and I know that you've offered to share your story with me at some point, and I'm not inviting that at the moment because I don't care. I'm inviting it at the moment because I'm still a bit I'm not able to take it on at the moment, only because of what I've got going on with work and my new job, and still not really I'm dealing healthily with Mem's death, but it really, or being there's death, like it really slapped me in the face a lot more than I thought it would, because I'm so used to, sounds awful, but I've lost so many people in my life. So yeah, I'm not ignoring your offer to chat about it. It's just at the moment I'm trying really hard. That's one thing the highly sensitive person book has taught me. The HSPs, we take way too much on, and I'm learning how to process things and not carry it around with me. But it's been a bad thing of mine in the past that I've ended up just having the weight of the world on my shoulders, and then I've had a like moment of holy shit, this is too much, and then I go, how much of this is my stuff? So come here into chats and stuff and treat this like your couch, Casper, and we will chat at some point. I just really want to be in the right headspace and focus for this new role, because I'm very excited and I feel incredibly supported by them. But I also want to Shit. I'm just, see, here's me rummaging through my basket, getting all the things I need for the day. Where are those tablets? I don't think I'll need them, but I've got the worst, tell fast, there they are. I've got the worst allergies happening at the moment. And I find if you're in a building with aircon and stuff, it kind of makes it even worse. Some pens, need a few pens, bit of lippy. I don't wear lipstick, but what is it, lip balm? Not lip balm, tinted lip balm. Look at me getting organised. So organised. I am actually really organised. I brought my packed lunch in with me today, and it's a really yummy salad. And that's a present for the girl I've been working for. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I think that's all I need for the day. I think that's all I need. Yeah. All right. So I've sorted that out. So yeah, I've got a beautiful pasta salad that I made with a ricotta sauce. It was kind of so bizarre. Like you cook the pasta and then mix ricotta that has some lime juice, some chili, a few other things through it, and then cherry tomatoes and basil. Oh my God, it was so yummy. So I've got that, and I made some bliss balls. I've got a cranberry and chocolate or cocoa bliss ball with peanut butter, sort of holding it all together. Yum. Hey, I'm getting into that habit of packing lunches and stuff. Oh, and I made the most beautiful bean salad last night. It was beans and eggs and almonds, but the almonds got roasted with like chili and macadamia oil and something else. Oh my God, they were so good. And then I also made a little dressing that was oh no, that was the macadamia oil and Dijon mustard and some cracked pepper. Oh my God, it was so good. And then hard-boiled eggs that I used my grandmother's egg slicer. Got very retro in the kitchen last night. All right. Where you gone, Francesca? Dark humour is very good for you. It is. And yeah, Casper, I agree with Francesca, like bastards. And it's horrible that people on YouTube, and I don't think it's just YouTube, I think people do it on Facebook too. It's almost like they sit in wait for people to show their, and I'm not going to call it weakness, but their soft spot, and then yeah, just repeatedly go after it. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And I mean, that's where social media, I think, has been such a negative thing. I think we should all focus on how we can use it for good, but it's given people a voice who normally in the past in society would have just been miserable shitheads and nobody would have been around them because they were miserable shitheads. And now there's all these platforms where they still get to be miserable shitheads and they hurt people and they get off on that and they feed on it. And it's almost like they go around looking for their next target, their next victim. And I mean, I've seen it definitely happening on YouTube. But I've seen it happening on Facebook and Twitter. And, in the past, those people just would have been ostracized by society for being such assholes. But now they've all got a platform and they can all sit in their, the comfort of their own home, firing away all this crap on their keyboards at people. And there's, no repercussions, even though, cyberbullying is a bad thing and there's legislation about it and all that sort of stuff. It's like they've basically, even with YouTube's terms and services and terms and conditions, like people still get away with it. You know, they're like, we're not going to tolerate this, but there's really not a lot happening in the real world to cyberbullies to stop people from doing it. It's starting to happen, but it's gone unchecked for such a long time. Your dad wore a three-piece suit, yeah, in Africa and Saudi. Holy shit. Oh, thanks, Francesca. I will concentrate on my job, Casper, but I just want you to know you are always welcome in here as a place to come and talk about it, you know, like, and we will chat offline. I've just got a very, oh, look at this girl. She's taken a photo, Hobart Town. Hot new men in this office. I'll see you later, Francesca. Have a good day, gorgeous. Have a smashing day. When Mum died, people said stuff on Facebook they wouldn't do. Oh my God, Ruth. See, that's just, yeah. I'm a big believer in the block button. I think so many people need to just start utilising it and just block people and move on. So many of those drama channels would collapse if everybody just blocked the people that they were whinging about. There's no hot guys in the office because I'm in an office on my own, but I'm in a building full of amazing people that I've been working with for the last 6 to 8 weeks, and no, I haven't spotted any hotties yet. But never say never. The building is a bit of a shared office, and well, not shared office, but there's lots of different organisations in the same building. But it's all ground floor, and like there's an upstairs training and conference room. But oh, road trips are the best couch. I know it's a bit like. Look, to be honest, I'm my most profound in the shower, but I'm never going to do shower therapy. So drive therapy is the next best thing. But yeah, I'm so sorry for anyone, including myself, who's been hurt by people on social media platforms. I underestimated YouTube and had no idea how much my experience was going to affect me. And I tried to be a supportive, optimistic, positive person and, go into chats and try and spread laughter and, try and say to the creators, it's not worth it. Or even call out people for their shitty behavior. And it just doesn't change them. I think they're so empowered by it. I think some of them actually get off on it. And, they're probably the kids that were bullied at school or bullies at school, and they've just found new platforms to continue to be bullies. Or some of them were people who were bullied, and now it's their way of getting, revenge or whatever. It's messy. Visitors come to offices, they do, wink, wink. Just like the title, just like my boss being a moaner, like leaving me a letter saying I haven't done this and that. Oh, lovable rogue. See, that's how hard is it for people to just say, I know you're not feeling really well at the moment. I'm actually going to take some of this work off you. And thank you so much for all the stuff that you're doing despite what you're going through. Like, that's all that boss has to say to you. But I'll be doing a lot of advocacy in the workers' sphere with this role and looking out for employees. And it's stuff like that that I want to talk about publicly, that there's one of the reasons I really love the firm I'm going to be working for is they are very transparent and they actually check in on their staff and they say, like, have you got too much work on your plate at the moment? Do you need us to stop giving you work? Do you want us to take some of it off you? And I was just like, I just feel like I'm going to be so safe in this workplace where you can just be honest. But yeah, lovable rogue. Somebody could have just said, your boss could have just said, I'm so impressed with what you've been able to achieve, even though you're going through what you're going through. And let me take some of it off you for now because, it's too much for you at the moment. Oh, Casper, I'm sure your stories are going to be horrible. That's why I'm not quite ready to do a one-on-one couch session. I mean, you're very cheery and lovely and polite when you come into my chat, and as you know, because you're part of it, it's a very supportive chat. We all look out for each other. If I was really, really worried that you were not functioning in the world, I'd be on the phone to you in a heartbeat. The problem with a lot of bosses and managers is they're often made bosses and managers even though they don't have any direct experience doing the job that the people they're managing have to do, which automatically makes them not ideal candidates. Because even when I started practicing law, I got very close to my PA and, wanted to know what she did and had a really good friendship with her. And the law firm I was working for were like, no, she's your secretary. You can't be good buddies because what if you have to reprimand her? And I'm like, well, if we're good buddies and I have to reprimand her, I'm going to be really nice and say, hey, can we look at another way of doing this, rather than not being friends and just yelling at them. But, any job I've ever had, like even when I was working in a pub, I wasn't the glassy that went around getting all the empty glasses off tables, but I'd still do that. Like I'd still do all the jobs right from the bottom because that's the best way to learn every aspect of your own role. But also to, appreciate and not take for granted that everyone in the team has a role to do and collectively you make it a really great workplace. Well, Casper's a friendly ghost. I used to love Casper. And I used to love Simba the White Lion. Simba or Kimber. Not Simba, that's that other thing. Kimber the White Lion. I didn't realise Casper was a nickname from childhood. That's pretty cute. If I named my channel after my nickname as a child, it would be Tits. Which isn't really a great name for a YouTube channel. There was a Beatrix Potter book, Mrs. Tittlemouse. I was tiny when I was little. I was only 5 pound 5'2", I think, when I was born. And I was called Mrs. Tittlemouse, and then it got shortened to Titmouse, and then it got shortened to Tits. Your morning boss is lovely. I'm glad you've got a good, lovely boss as well. I'm so excited about my new bosses. They're all lovely. But they're also working in the area that I really want to be vocal in and get some changes happening. And because of their focus, like I'm going to be very protected and safe working there as well. I'll save everything. Save note, like take notes, do everything. I actually got criticised for not having notes dating back to the day I started my last job. And I was like, yeah, because everyone starts a job expecting for things to happen, and so they keep detailed notes right from day one, not. Oh, Serenity B. I remembered this morning when I was whizzing up my green smoothie, which I'm enjoying at the moment for the drive into work, that I didn't give you all of the ingredients. So if you did make it last night, it probably wasn't as good as it should have been because it's also got mint and cucumber in it. All right, I'm going to pull up just here and in the live and 1 hour meter. Awesome. Um, I basically pay for an hour's parking, and then they show me a park that I can park in for the rest of the day for free. It's pretty cool. The people that I'm working for at the moment. Yeah, so if you made the smoothie, it's even better. Oh, I just got a bit of lime pulp. Um, it's even better when you have all the ingredients. I felt like something was missing. Sorry about that. I'm going to do some little videos on this channel in the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, just making them. But it's really short little videos because they're so good and so easy. And I often find, like, I'll pull out things that I've got in my crisper that, you know, they're not gross yet, but they probably will be better off in a smoothie than anything else. It's a good way to use up all the, you know, maybe spinach, or I'm going to try doing one. I've got some rocket at home. I'm going to try doing a smoothie tomorrow with rocket in it. I'm so sorry, Serenity B. I knew when I was going through the ingredients there was more. I was picturing what I actually chopped on the chopping board. And I didn't for a second think this is the first time I've ever had cucumber, I think, in a green smoothie. But it's really good. I'm going to get my coffee at lunchtime. I'm going to go for a walk and get a coffee to have with my lunch. Mm, it's so yummy. It's not completely smooth. There's a few bits of cashew that I'm chewing on. Mm. I know you're staring me up, but no, it wouldn't have tasted right because the mint is actually the sweet component, in addition to the bit of pineapple that I had. Um, and the cucumber, it's almost like a gazpacho. Oh shit, yeah, I've got the watercress. No, I might do the watercress smoothie tomorrow because that one's interesting. It's coconut water, watercress, and orange. And it's got some other stuff as well, but they're the main three ingredients. So we've had a little bit of an offload, not a massive whinge. Ruth, you're the one who took on the it's us against Ruth. Um, See here, there's a home brewing shop. I'm so tempted to get into home brewing, but I don't drink. But I thought it'd be nice to make like limoncello and give that to people as presents throughout the year. I loves me some limoncello. I did back in the day. My sister and one of my friends have got lemon trees. And there's, you know, they always rock up with bags of lemons, and I'm like, I might need to go to Tasmanian Home Brewing Supplies, the hobby with benefits, and not the friend with benefits, the hobby with benefits. Oh, speaking of, one of my old friends with benefits from like 10 years ago has reappeared in my life. Yeah, watercress and orange. Yeah, they do have my parking back. They're so good. They've got two visitors car parks, but it depends on the day, what's going on and who's visiting and if people are delivering things and all that sort of stuff. So when I go in, I'm like gonna go and move my car, and they're like, nah, chuck it in that visitors park right there. And I'm like, thank you very much. Sicilian lemon yogurt. I'll have to Google that. I haven't had that. But yeah, tomorrow morning I might do a quick. It won't be. Oh, maybe it'll be a quick, really quick live. I don't know. But I'll whip up that watercress orange and coconut water, and I can't remember what the other ingredients. But they've always got a few little spices and herbs and things. I mean, this particular style of eating that I'm doing, they say start your day with a green smoothie and then have the other half later in the day for a pick me up. But I like having the second bit the next morning. I don't want to be making a green smoothie every morning. Um, when I was with my ex Jim, we had green smoothies every day, and we both lost so much weight, but felt so good for doing it. But quite often, so we'd make 4 servings, so sort of 2 mornings worth. But one time we went nuts and made a heap and froze them, and it was really good just to be able to pull one out of the freezer the night before and then have it the next day on the way to work or whatever. It's a good way to get a heap of veggies into your system, and it does fill you up, so you're less likely to get to work and go, oh, I'll have a cup of tea and something out of the fundraising baskets. There's so many fundraising baskets in this workplace because there's so many different organisations and different parents with kids at different schools. So there's everything. Yeah, yum, yogurt. The smoothie I'm drinking at the moment I made yesterday, and it's got 2 handfuls of parsley, a handful of mint, half a continental cucumber or a whole Lebanese cucumber, depending on what you've got. Half a lime, but you peel the lime, so you just chop it up a little bit, so you've got the lime pulp and flesh. 10, specifically 10 cashews, and a pinch of salt, and 3 cups of water and some ice. Good morning, Zero Bugden. How are you today, Groover? I know. I took us for a drive into town, and we had a bit of a chat about Australians becoming the new whinging poms. But Ruth took on the challenge as a representative of the poms and said no, she still thinks they will always out whinge us. We've had a bit of couch therapy. We've had a bit of a vent. We've wrapped Casper up in lots of love, and he's returned the favour. It's been good. We've talked about green smoothies. Just saw an old childhood friend of mine walking out of a car park, and I was like, God, he looks old. And I'm like, yeah, I probably do too. I mean, he looks good, but you don't think that you're looking middle aged until you see someone that you went through school with, and you're like, yeah, we're all looking middle aged. No, Zero Bugden, sorry, I didn't, mate. I've had a few other things on my plate. I might listen to it on the drive home. I'm trying to get in a not so much screen time habit, because I'm going to be working on a computer a lot. I mean, I'm working on a computer today, but yeah, one of my goals for this year or habits was to limit my screen time. And after I decided to do this, we're going to do a weekly series on the Night Stalker series on Netflix. And it's more screen time as well, watching a telly. But I sat down and actually took notes for the second episode last night. But I will, mate. It is very stupid shit. My life at the moment, it's not on hold, but because I'm starting a new job next week, I'm really focusing on that. But I will definitely have a listen. I'm really interested to see what you did with it. Ruth, I often have a smoothie for dinner. Like, I've got home late before from things, like at 9 o'clock. Like, I'll go to a meeting and you think, oh, there'll be some nibbles there, or I can take some nuts, and then I forget to do it. And then I get home and, yeah, I quite often have a smoothie before I go to bed, like just a blueberry smoothie, something like that. And I've also got some protein powder that you can chuck in your smoothie as well. So at least you're getting some protein. I don't have any protein powder in this green smoothie. This green smoothie is all natural stuff. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out, Finn, for sure. Or Zero, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to do it on the weekend. I just don't know whether I'm going to do it on Saturday or Sunday. Hey, Doodle. I love blueberries too. They're my favourite fruit. Did you know that white film on the outside of blueberries is called a bloom? And it's actually a naturally occurring phenomena to protect the blueberries because they're so dark. They create this bloom that protects them from the sun. And Doodle, have you ever put a blueberry on your tongue and then pushed it up against the roof of your mouth and let it pop? Oh, so good. Such a good way to eat them. Someone gave me a book when I turned 40 that said things to do now you're 40, and one of them was savor blueberries, put one on your tongue and press it up against the roof of your mouth. And it's so fun because they're all so different. The flavors are all, and then you get that really tart one, and then you get a really fat, juicy one. Plain yogurt in a bowl, throw in a clove of crushed garlic and a cap of balsamic, and mix, let it stand for a while. I make salad, and then yum, that sounds great. Uh, Zero, I reckon you could try using the bloom. You'd have to rub a lot of blueberries to cover your whole body, though. But yeah, they're my favourite fruit. I often bring like a punnet of blueberries as my snack for the day. They're nature's chips. Yeah, I love raspberries too. I've got a beautiful punnet of raspberries at home. Raspberries in Tassie are superb. I'll be doing lots of little short videos. I'll start uploading some green smoothies, and I had birch and muesli this morning for breakfast that I made yesterday. It was really good. You could be right there, Zero. It'd be fucking expensive though, but I don't know why we don't just create a bloom. Maybe that's Orlando Bloom's secret. Yeah, I love frozen grapes too. That's one of the reasons I'm not going back to keto, because they're very limited on the fruit that you can have. And I'm just eating all the things I can get from my greengrocer and being healthy. And I really missed eating nuts and seeds as well. Target the uber elite. Yeah, the 1% would probably pay millions for a jar of blueberry bloom. This is annoying me so much. I don't know what it is and I can't get it off. Oh, hang on, yes I can. I've got to give my car a good clean. Pears and kiwi. Yeah, I don't. I find kiwi hit and miss, and they're also high maintenance. I mean, you can eat the skin, but a lot of people don't really dig it. But the bircham muesli I made yesterday had grated pear in it, and I got to use my corer. I forgot I had a corer, and I was like, "Oh, these are fun." But it had grated pear in it, and it was really yummy. But because it was in bircham muesli and it had soaked overnight in the oats and the chia and everything else, my sister's allergic to all stone fruit, so she can't eat pear. But I love the flavour of pear. But yeah, I didn't have any pear concentrate. I didn't even know where to look for that in the shops. That probably would have made it even nicer. Peel your grapes? What the fuck? Love work. I'm going mad on surprise in coffee lately and different flavour coffee, chocolate coffee, Irish cream coffee, no alcohol. Yum. Syrups. Gotcha. Yay, zero hit 80 subs. That's awesome, mate. Yeah, we did have a few of my groovers. Francesca popped in the other day on one of my lives and said how much she enjoyed our live the other night. We will do more, mate. Um, for sure. They did that back in the day, didn't they? You know, you were like when you were royalty or whatever, you'd have someone to peel your grapes for you. All right, I better get my butt into work. Got to pay for my parking. We've got a really cool app that you just punch in the number and set the time, and away you go. It's very easy. I love technology. Well, good to see all of you groovers. We ended up not whinging that much. We ended up becoming a bit of a group hugging chat as always, which I love. And I'm still drinking this smoothie because you kind of have to eat it. You have a great day too, Zero Bugden. I will listen, I promise. I'll listen to your thing on the drive home. Um, yeah, congrats again on your 80 subs. That's awesome. It's so much fun watching your channel grow. I just don't want mine to get so big that it becomes a nuisance. I love the community that we've got. I love that people pop in and say hi. I know that we're not always satisfying people who want drama and action, but that's just the way I want it. Ruth, I think we just eat whatever the fuck makes us happy. Listen to our bodies. I do eat the stems. I think they're just as good as, and sometimes better actually. I think broccoli stems, when you put them in a stir fry and they're all crispy and crunchy, they're nicer than the florets. But that's just my personal opinion. But have a great day, everyone. Have a lovely evening, and we'll get some stuff happening in the Shitty Kitty kitchen very soon. We all like talking about food and swapping recipes. You can always drop recipes in the comments under videos too of mine, like the yoga one, Ruth. If you feel up to it, just chuck it in the comment section for future reference. And how sad is it that my video that I did of biscuits feelings about Chris Watts has got more views on it than most of the other stuff I do? And it's not clickbait. She generally thinks, well, she doesn't. I mean, I should have actually said how Biscuit feels about people who keep talking about Chris Watts, to be honest. That was more what she was trying to talk about, but you know. But yeah, hit the likes or the downs. I don't mind. It's all interaction. I love you guys. Have a really good day if you're about to start it. Have a fabulous night and sweet dreams if you're about to end your day. And Zero, I will listen to you on the way home, and you'll definitely get some feedback from me. And we'll all reconnect very soon. Spread some love out there on the YouTubes. We all know everybody fucking needs it. Until next time, this is Tori signing off. Stay groovy, motherfuckers.